A competitive trail ride is a competitive distance event covering a measured distance within a window of time. In NATRC competitions, horses are evaluated on soundness, condition, and trail ability and manners by a veterinarian. Riders are evaluated by a horsemanship judge on their safety, courtesy, horse care, and equitation as it applies to distance riding. All breeds of horses and mules are welcome. Competitive trail riding is a family activity too. Competing parents may ride with their competing children, or non-riding family members can relax in camp or assist management on the trail. NATRC has 6 regions covering the USA. Each region puts on rides in their geographic area. Non-members are welcome to enter a ride. Some rides are held on public land or private property, not otherwise available to an individual rider. How far and how fast competitors travel depends on the division of competition. The novice division is for riders and horses new to competitive trail riding. Competitive pleasure, or CP division, is for riders who are more experienced but who prefer the distance and pace of the novice division. The open division is for experienced riders with experienced, well-conditioned horses. Novice and CP competitors cover about 40 miles in a 2-day ride at 3.5 to 5 miles per hour. An open competitor covers about 50 to 60 miles in a 2-day competition at a faster pace of 4 to 6 miles per hour. 1-day riders cover about 20 miles in novice or CP and about 35 in open. The competition begins once a horse and rider check in with the judges. The purpose of the check-in exam is to see if a horse is healthy and sound enough to start the next day's competition, and also to provide baseline information. The exam begins with a grooming check by the horsemanship judge, followed by a health and soundness exam done by the veterinary judge. Vet judges check indicators of hydration using capillary refill time in the gums and color of mucous membranes, jugular refill time, and skin tenting, as well as check pulse rate, gut sounds, and the legs, back, and girth areas for swelling or pain. Any old blemishes or scarring are also noted so new injuries can be found and assessed. Once this exam is complete, the horse is asked to trot straight out, circle in each direction either in hand or on a lunge line, and trot straight back so the horse can be judged on its soundness. During the check-in exam, a horse is also judged on its manners and the rider is judged on safety. Later that evening, the horsemanship judge will conduct area checks to make sure that the horses have food and water and that they are stabled in safe, secure, and clean locations. Map briefings as well as first-time rider briefings are also done that same evening. The next morning, riders are timed out with short increments in between so as to allow safe spacing and individual evaluation. Riders can still ride together, however their time will be slightly different from the others in their group. In addition to keeping on time, riders and horses are both tested with natural trail skill obstacles throughout the ride. The difficulty is based on the division of competition and may range from a simple backup or tack check to a complex series of turns and side passes. Sometimes riders will be asked to pick something up, open a gate, mount in a safe place, or just simply demonstrate good horsemanship by having correctly fitted tack, or even just having their map. During obstacles, vet judges look at the horse's manners and willingness to complete what was asked. The horsemanship judges look for proper equitation, the ability to complete the obstacle, and the rider's ability to know when the obstacle asks too much of their horse and it is okay to pass for everyone's well-being. In addition to obstacles, there are several checkpoints throughout the ride where the vet judge and riders get an opportunity to make sure that a horse can continue on. At pulse and respiration stops, or P&Rs, horses are given a 10-minute break to recover. At the end of this 10 minutes, the horse may continue on if the pulse and respiration rates have met the criteria. If a horse does not meet the criteria, it is held for another 10 minutes to recover. If it does not recover within 2 holds, it is pulled from competition. Some common practices of riders to help the horse recover are loosening the cinch, pulling the saddle, offering water, sponging water on the horse, and fanning air on the horse. Riders are not required to do anything as these actions are based on the individual horse. Another metabolic exam and soundness check are usually conducted by the veterinary judge at P&R stops to see if the horse can continue. At the end of the ride, riders are given a time period to rest their horses before taking them back to have a final check. During this time, riders must do their best to clean their horses up and make sure they are as comfortable as possible after the long day. At the end of the time period, riders take their horses back up to be checked once more by the veterinary and horsemanship judges. Grooming, safety, and manners are once again tested. Metabolics and soundness are compared to the pre-ride check. to evaluate the effects of the ride on the horse, and to make sure the horse is in good health to officially complete the ride. If a horse displays a certain level of lameness or is metabolically imbalanced, it is pulled from the competition during the ride or even at this final checkout exam, even though the ride itself is completed. On competitions with more than 1 day of riding, this exam is still conducted at the end of each day, as well as an additional soundness check the morning before another day of riding. Each horse and rider start with 100 points. Deductions are assessed during the ride, and as soon as the scores and placements are completed, awards are presented and riders are given a hard copy of their scorecards.